Hey, Scott Jordan here again, and we are live. If you're watching live on the stream, we're live. If you're not watching live, that means you're watching a replay of this program. But thank you very much for tuning in, whichever format you're using. Today we're going to talk a little bit about our eClean floor care program, and very excited to have Jack Collins take over the presentation again. He's got a lot of experience with the product and sold thousands of gallons of it. So Jack, I'm going to hand it off to you. Go ahead.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I have a little. I have a green cleaning background going back around 20 years ago, and when this product came out, we came out with this product about 4 years ago. I was really excited about it. One of the challenges in a green cleaning world today is, will you throw those slides up there, Alex? Thank you. One of the challenges in a green cleaning world is that the standard floor care programs are just wasteful and polluting. So they're not green at all. And the challenge, though, is you still need to care for the floor. It still needs to look good. It needs to protect the VCT tile. But if you're doing it correctly, you're going to use a lot of chemicals and labor to maintain it. And we get into more detail of that in the next slide. But the real problem is that the green floor finishes that came out over the last 15 years or so didn't work. And as a result, customers didn't buy them. I was a green cleaning consultant with some of the major building service contractors here in the Boston area when they were implementing their green cleaning programs. And, we just said, hey, you should maintain the floor the way the floor needs to be maintained. And if the products that are currently being offered in the green chemistry don't work, then we'll just keep doing it that way. So the other problem is that, the products came out and it wasn't green if you have to use more chemicals and labor to maintain them either. So the next slide actually gets into more of what we have offered. So on our eClean green cleaning brand group, we have 3 floor care products, which we have introduced, which you are about to see some from comments from actual customers, work amazingly well. A 25% solid floor finish, which is a very high percentage of solids for a green floor finish. These are all Green Seal certified products with the exception of the Dry Buff. Now the Dry Buff is actually a repair and restorative product that can pop the finish back in a heavily scratched area, high traffic area real quick with a couple of beads of the product on the floor. It's a gel-like product. Hit it with a buffer and you're off and running. And then we have a deep scrub and stripper product, which actually on the deep scrub side will work with any type of floor finish. On the stripper side tends to be performed at a higher level, obviously with green finishes on the market. The key benefit of these products, though, beyond being Green Seal certified, is the fact that they actually have no odor. And that's why that on this particular slide, that's a highlighted piece. All the demonstrations I've done with this product going back 4 or 5 years, what we've discovered is that the custodians, while we're demonstrating the product, would comment how they cannot smell it. And it was a cue to me that while we weren't initially marketing it as a no and low odor and product, that's something we should be talking about. And as soon as we did start talking about it, more opportunities came to us. But the other thing is you can have low odor, no odor, Green Seal, but if your product doesn't work as well as the finished product that they're using now, you're probably not going to get there. And as you're about to find from actual customers, this product has actually outperformed all other green floor care products on the marketplace in side-by-side tests. And I actually have about a 90% ratio. And here are some slides of a major Ivy League university where right after we had put the finish down on the floor, by the way, that's 3 coats of floor finish, but you can see the floor and how the shine popped up on the area where we didn't apply it. By the way, that floor, looked that way a month, 2 months later, and that was a very heavily trafficked hallway in a science building in the basement of this Ivy League university. So now we're going to go into, I want you to actually, you've seen the difference here on this slide. I want you to hear the difference from a Boston area hospital director on her experience using this product. Cue up that video.
My name is Marianne Santisi. I am the former Director of Environmental Services, Patient Transport and Linen for Stewart Norwood Hospital.
So and the reason I asked you to participate today is you have been a very dedicated user of our eClean floor finish and stripper for the last couple of years. So
Yes.
you have an interesting story about why you purchased it and some of this, performance success you've had with the product. So why don't you just tell that story you shared with me yesterday?
Okay. So we have had consistent issues with finish and stripper at the hospital, especially working in areas where there was 24-hour activity, such as the emergency department, radiology, etc. Many more, the units as well. We had a situation one day in the emergency department. It was busy. We were trying to get a couple of the back rooms done. And the physicians were complaining. And when you have physicians complaining and saying they're going to go home if we don't stop working, we've got to listen to them. So I went down to speak to a couple of the docs based on the director of facilities calling me, who was telling me that they were opening doors and propping them, and they were electric doors. So there were all kinds of issues going on down there. I went down and spoke with a couple of the physicians, understood where they were coming from, asked the staff to stop, and placed a couple of phone calls. One of those phone calls was to Mark Belinsky, who is a representative for us at the hospital, and he was able to get me some samples of the eClean product. I believe we got a gallon of strip or a gallon of finish. I went back to the I went back to the docs. I told them what we were doing, that it was a Green Seal certified product, that we hadn't used it yet, but that we wanted to give it a try, that we thought it might work. And they told me, go ahead. So we started back to work, and about an hour later, I went down to see the physicians again, and I asked them how everything was going, and they said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, we finished the work, and they said, we didn't even know you were working. So the difference in the two products was night and day. The ability to work in an occupied space with activity going on was amazing. And we just found that we had discovered the product that we had been looking for years, and we've been using eClean ever since. It's been about 2 years now. We've had great success with it.
So as you and I chatted briefly yesterday, and I know, when one of the reasons you kept using the product was because, while obviously the odor control and a lack of odor was a big benefit for you.
Of course.
But the finish still needed to do what finish needs to do. It needs to shine. It needs to have some durability. It needs to protect the floor. Has to have a low maintenance schedule. Can you talk a little bit about those features of the product?
Sure. So when we put our finish down, we'll put about 3 or 4 coats down. We let it harden up, and then we give it a good burnish and pop the shine on the finish. We then put down another couple of coats, let that harden up, and we burnish again. And it really gives us a beautiful finish that's clean, shiny, but not over the top shiny, not to the point where people think they're going to slip and fall if they walk on it.
Is that important to you?
Just a beautiful finish.
Is it important that in a hospital that you don't have that really big pop?
Right. Because of our elderly patients, they tend to be very skittish around very high shine floors. So we've actually been asked to strip the floors in our psychiatric units, our Jerry Psych units, because they don't want any shine on the floor at all.
Wow.
So it is a phenomenon among the elderly, and it's better in a healthcare institution to have a lower shine. Yep. And eClean gives us that, although it also gives us just a beautiful surface to work with. For maintenance purposes, about every 3 months, we will scrub and recoat. And we're able, honestly, I don't think we've gone back and stripped any of the floors that we have eClean on yet. Like I said, it's been about 2 years.
Wow. Very cool.
We've had very good luck with the product.
Yeah, we kind of promote the fact that you can actually put it down and leave it there for 3 to 4 years with a top scrub and maintenance program.
Sure.
So it sounds like you were kind of in that cycle. So that's awesome. Well, I want to thank you for your time today. That's kind of, if there's anything you'd like to add, kind of what I was looking at. I just wanted you to share your experiences as well as why because one of the things we do promote is the fact that it is a low odor, no odor. We've had a lot of success in healthcare institutions like yours. So I thank you.
Yeah.
And
I would just say if you have 24-hour activity, you can't go wrong trying this product. It really does the job for you. I know that there are chemically sensitive individuals all over the place, and they have no issues at all with this product. So
That's
go
awesome.
get it.
All right. Thank you, dear. Enjoy the rest of the day and good luck.
You too.
So that was Mary Ann, and she said a lot about our products. The next person I'm going to bring up to talk about the eClean floor care product is a much larger facility than Mary Ann was working at. But let's introduce Elio and cue up that one. Ilya, welcome. You're here today to talk a little bit about your experiences using our eClean floor care products at the hospital you work at. Tell a little bit about who you are, your name, and all that.
So my name is Elio Nunes. I work at Boston Children's Hospital for about 5 years. So I'm an assistant director for environment service.
Great. So you have been using eClean floor care products, our floor finish Tart 25 and our deep scrub and stripper product for a couple of years, I think, right?
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's about 3 years going to 4.
So let's talk about why the decision to go with the product. I know we had a little trial there for a while, and obviously you liked the product, but what was the decision to go with the product to begin with?
So this is how it happened, right? The chemical that we used to use before, they have a strong smell. So we used to get a lot of pushback from the units that were trying to do a floor care. So the organization asked us to do a research for the eClean, for the whatever cleanest product that we have in the market that's out there in the market. We reached out to one of the vendor, which is Mark. So we came up with eClean. Since we've been using eClean, it's been so easy for everybody. So every unit that we do, there's no complaint about the odor. There's no complaint about the smell. Everybody likes the job, and especially it has a nice shine, and the floor looks really nice. So I think it's one of the best things that we did when it comes to that product.
So if I remember correct, because I do remember that transition you were making, and I remember because Mark and I have communicated a lot. When you were in that process, you actually were evaluating some other products at the same time, correct?
Correct. So we did evaluate a couple products. I think it was like 5 or 6. I don't remember. So we get in touch with the department that responsible to do that. They reach out to a third party company, and that's when they decide to go to eClean because it was the greenest product out there in the market.
So the green seal certification was a big plus, right? As you just shared. Obviously, when you were comparing it to other products, you were also comparing things like durability, the shine, how easy it was to apply, all the other factors you deal with when you're looking at floor care products. Well, how did the eClean, why did it win? What were some of the factors that you saw where it stood out?
I think the biggest thing it was the smell. It's the odor. Remember, it's so you work around patient, and let's say if you work in a unit that we have patient with respiratory problems, that did happen before, and then it was always a pushback. We end up stopping doing the work because the smell was kind of strong with the chemical that we used to use before. We don't have that anymore, which is like right now we're doing a big project on one of those units. It's an easy thing. It's like you're working just water,
Yeah.
There's no complaint about smell. We've been there like for going to 2 weeks. It works fantastic. Yeah.
So give our audience a little sense of how you use a product. How many coats you put down, how you're applying it. Are you doing a top scrub and recoat program with it? That kind of stuff. Are you burnishing it at all?
So we do 2 ways, right? Right now we're working on the corridors. So right now we strip it all the way to the bone, and then we put wax and we put finish. So we do, because we like the floor to be shine, we do between 5 to 7 coats, and it looks really good. But if we just recoat, we do about 3 coats.
So when you do a top scrub, you do 3 coats. So,
Yeah.
and you're applying it, what kind of equipment are you using to apply it?
So we have it's like a backpack.
Okay, the Rubbermaid, like the Rubbermaid style backpack?
It's a Ecolab.
Ecolabs, okay, yep, okay.
That's what we use, the Ecolab applicator.
Yeah, fast application. I've used those
Yep.
tools myself. They work really, really good.
Correct.
Anything else you'd like to add to our little conversation about your use with the eClean? And
I mean, it to be honest, it make our life way easier when it comes to get a floor done, you know, because now it doesn't matter the unit that we're working on, there's no pushback because of the smell. You know, we used to have we used to stop working like mid of the work, we end up stopping because the smell was strong. Now
you're the guy that gets those calls.
so now we keep going. There's no smell, you know, we keep going. We schedule the work and it gets done.
Well, I want to thank you for your time today. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'm over now. Thank you, Elios. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jack.
Bye-bye. Elio and Marianne for helping me out with this presentation. Obviously, they've had a lot of success using these eClean floor care products in their hospitals here in the Boston area. I have had success with this products from Maine to Buffalo, New York, and you know, like I said, it's a very successful product, particularly in the healthcare institutions. And I do have a lot of schools using it also, and particularly in states of Connecticut and Vermont where green cleaning programs are mandated. So keep that in mind. I do want to move on and just, you know, capture, if you need more information, just reach out to me personally. I have a lot of experience with this products or the Bullen support line. And thank you very much for tuning in.
And good to hear back from customers that are happy with the products.
I would agree, Scott. No, it's really good.
Yep. Have a great day.